NSFW. What is the female equivalent of the infamous ass versus tits debate? Facial hair or no facial hair? I was never team facial hair until I met my boyfriend. Unfortunately, he shaved off his beard because of the coronavirus. It's not a big deal though, cause I only get to see him via Skype. Sigh. Most of us men over here have just stopped shaving because who cares? I'm genuinely curious as to his reasoning. I've always heard arms versus chest. Arms all the way. Arms versus abs. Ah yeah, when you're built like me. Ladies don't even gotta choose between chiseled abs or my fuckular arms. I take my shirt off wherever I go, especially if I see a girl. And guess what? They cream their shorts when they see the deep lines of my abs, and then the double cream, whole cream, their panties when they check out my vascular veins pulsing and throbbing like a living highway system of some sort of megapolis that is my arms. And guess what? They literally themselves when I put the whole gang into flex mode. Combine that with the cream, and we call it a latte down at the gym. And buddy, I'm making lattes every dong day. Every dong day finally made me lose it. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Rugged versus clean cut. I'll take the rugged look any day. Probably shoulders versus butt. Some girls want to see a guy with that V back, others need their man to have those thick cheeks. My dad used to boast about his V back when he was in the army, but joke's on him, he got a dad bod after he left. Still fuck your mom though, it's the same. Gang. Forearms versus calves. Yes. Alternatively, neck v calves, neck v forearms. Washboard model or cuddle bear model. Washboard may be nice to look at, but I hear it's like laying on a bunch of TV remotes. For those who likes their men like their mattresses. Girth versus length. I'm fairly confident that girth wins that debate by a wide margin. I may not touch the bottom, but I will surely stretch the edges. Ron White. Chest versus abs. Just because someone has abs doesn't mean they have a large chest and vice versa. My wife says calves or forearms. Forearms. Arms versus calves. My calves have always bothered me. The rest of my body responds well to weight training, but my calves are small. GF thinks they're fine, but I still don't wear shorts while I'm out lol. Oftentimes in that situation, what we are insecure about is generally a great feature. If your GF thinks they're good, they most likely are. Calves are my insecurity. I am in line, I fidget, go up and down on the balls of my feet to give them an extra boost. If you walk a lot though, they develop well. My wife is really into shoulders and eyes, brows and teeth. While she appreciates it, I don't think it occupies much mind space. Winking face. Probably because it doesn't occupy that much physical space. I mean, yeah, I'm 5 inches, but you don't have much control over that. My oral game is strong and butt stuff is pretty practical when you're not gigantic and ripping up the back door. Looks versus personality. Looks win 75% of the time. Yeah, I'd say it breaks down like this. I'd actually say looks wins 90% of the time in the short term. Personality wins more in the long run. Of course, if you get rejected immediately, then there is no long run for you. For a girl I know, it's bulge versus hands. Ear hair versus nose hair. Hey up what the big or money? I got neither. Wallet versus face. It's exactly the same. Girls love guys and chest pecs just as much. Arms versus glutes. In my teens and 20s, women often complimented my bum. More than once I had either a Latino or an African American woman say that I had a nice butt for a white guy. My girlfriend couldn't care less about my bum. She told me she likes arms better. Depends personally. For my straight counterparts, forearms are a big one. I don't get it. And Lieutenant, Brofist and GT, forearm porn edit. Oh also, although I doubt a lady who loves bucks and babes hasn't found it yet. Sweater meat. Also my cleavage and titty drop. I don't always finish there, but I often start there. That's the stuff. Length or girth. Chest hair versus none. Cut versus uncut. Is either really a deal breaker. Good at versus not a moron. Wallet or looks. Abs or arms. Bulky guys will have bigger arms and shoulders. Cut guys will have less arms but abs. Versus balls. Dad bod or six pack. Big or not a father figure versus someone actually my own age. Still versus my fellow. Rise up. Jokes aside, my guess is crotch versus abs. It's not as clear a divide as versus, but the only thing comparable I've noticed, though not many women I know actively stare at talk about crotches, versus pecs. Still versus if you're a versus, I might be. Arms versus abs. For me it's shoulders versus arms. Long but skinny or short but thick. Good career versus good looks. Looks versus personality. Size versus girth. That's what I've always been told by women. Hands versus forearms. Girth versus length. 401k and a good credit score. It's still versus. Everybody has end titties. Family money versus current money. This is just based off women I have dated. Seems to be an issue. Brains versus brawn. Length versus girth. Money versus more money. Funny or hot.